My name is Bruce Webb. I'm from Lepidext, CEO and founder of Lepidext. Before I get started, I would like to thank AgLaunch. I'd also like to thank the other members of this cohort because we're truly a team. So thank you. Lepidext is bringing to market a revolutionary method for insect control. We're taking a new approach to an old problem that's based on the tools that this moth has given us. And specifically, as Mark just mentioned, the corn earworm is a ubiquitous pest. Any farmer that has grown virtually anything in this country knows this pest. Anybody that has bought sweet corn from an organic farmer has encountered this insect. It's a danger to everything. It develops resistance to everything. As soon as the egg is laid, the larvae burrows into the flower or the seed or the fruit, and you can't hit that insect with a pesticide. And that's not even the worst problem. The worst problem is that the tools that we have to develop to control this insect, specifically the Bt crops, are beginning to fail on us. Each place that you see a blue circle on this slide shows a place where you have development of, they call it practical resistance. What practical resistance means that you plant Bt crops and then you have to spray pesticide. And sometimes when you spray pesticide, you still have crop failure. That's what practical resistance means. And if you were to look at this is 2016 data. The 2019 data is worse. So what's the solution? We're working with a natural virus that's already in your fields. And this virus causes the moth to be sterile. Now, the problem is that the virus doesn't cause the moth to be sterile very efficiently. Only 1 out of 5 insects become sterile. We have selected a strain, not a genetically modified virus, but a strain of virus that works better, such that virtually all of the insects that become infected are sterilized. So we release our sterile moths into the field. They seek out and find the moths that are already in your field, mate with them. First generation in the lab, if we have 10% of the insects infected with the sterile virus, all of the eggs that are laid carry that virus. That results in a 35% reduction in egg number, but the really bang for the buck happens in the next generation. When you have these sterile insects mating with each other, you have very few eggs laid. Those eggs that are laid are sterile, and that kind of biological transmission is going to protect the crops that this insect damages. So when you look at what other people are doing, we have some advantages. I can't go through them all, but suffice it to say that the technology we're talking about is safe. It's already in your field. It's effective. These viruses have been transmitted for 60 million years. We're releasing insects. I don't know how much easier you could get than that. This is an organic product. It's not a GMO. It's low cost. We've talked to the EPA, and the regulatory path before us is straightforward. We're expecting a 15-month horizon. The way that we imagine this working, the way that we think about it working, particularly in the Delta region, is we have transgenic corn and transgenic cotton planted sequentially. The problem that we have now is the insect moves into corn. The resistant insects that survive on corn then move out and attack the cotton plant. So we have a system that's set up to breed for resistance. Our technology, we can release the moths as they move into corn. Those moths that come out of corn will then be mostly sterile, and that will result in protection of the cotton crop, which is a much higher value crop. And this will help us preserve a seed market that's about $12.5 billion. So this was an idea in 2015, and by 2017, we had shown that it had traction and had a patent issued from the US. We now have international patents pending in Brazil, India, and China. That covers 90% of the global corn, cotton, and soybean market. The last 2 years, we've spent showing that this works in the lab very effectively, developing production methods. This year, we're going into 3 states to trial this, in Tennessee, Kentucky, and in Arizona. Next year, we're planning for large scale, 5,000 acres or so. This is a technology that will work better the bigger the scale is. After next year, we'll be ready to scale and commercialize this technology and make a difference for farmers. The team that we have is diverse, and they bring different skills, and it's not just the science team. I can't go through everybody, but I would point out that our advisors also bring something besides money to the table as well. Where we are at this point is we are just closing this month, actually, with the assistance of Ag Launch, the first round of a seed round at $625,000. This will operate us through the coming year. We're already talking to investors about the additional financial resources we'll need to scale and bring this to 5,000 acres or greater. And we're really looking for, again, people that bring more than money to the table, people that share our vision for effective, environmentally sustainable control of these insect pests. Let me close by just reminding you of this pest. A single female lays 1,500 eggs. In 2 generations, you can get 625,000 eggs from a single female. We eliminate the eggs. Eliminating the eggs protects your crops in a natural, safe, easy, and effective and sustainable way. My name is Bruce Webb. We're looking for people to help Lepidext on our journey. Thank you.